Welcome. For those of you joining later on, we have a few people here with us, some people in the side. Erica's with us, Kevin and Janet, my right, left, and center hands of CommUnify. Thank you for being here whenever you're here. So one of the things we were just beginning to talk about and wanted to go back over is a little bit background of where we came from. And really it is personal growth network here in the Boston area. We expanded into New York City a bit a couple of years ago, and we've got over 4,000 members plus between Boston, greater Boston area, and New York in the meetup umbrella known as PGN, or Personal Growth Network. So that's our beginnings. Kevin and I came together over 4 years ago now, I believe, Kevin, it was October. Time flies. He's moved to the left coast. Janet's moved to the Cape. Janet came along shortly thereafter. And so we've been looking and trying to figure out, how do we take the Personal Growth Network and parlay it into something bigger? And what came through last year was the name CommUnify. And so we came up with CommUnify.Live because we realized that a lot of stuff's going on the web, and the .org was taken. It's not being used, but we're still trying to get that. But CommUnify.Live is our presence on the web, and we have a new website up there we've put together. And what we're trying really to do is expand upon personal growth and connection into ways to support each other and doing good stuff or great stuff in the world, to either save the planet or humanity or some combination thereof, and really do well by each other. And that really comes down to having some sort of community and connection, and be able to collaborate, and all the other CO words that we tend to use. And so we've come up with the idea of kind of a conscious, creative environment for people to do that. And what we look for in CommUnify here to bring forth is the technology to pull everybody, give everybody kind of a platform to communicate and do all the other things that we want to do together. And really, it's about support and supporting each other and realizing that we're all in this together. And the more that we realize we are all in this together is better for what we're all trying to do. So we're hoping to become a community partner, meeting you where you are on your journey, and pointing you to resources, assistance, and wisdom that comes only from a collective. And that's what we look for. And that includes having, if you're in business to help others, that's what we love to support, obviously, and have you thriving and even flourishing. So our ultimate goal is to have us move towards move from survival to thriving and into flourishing as we can, that we believe we can do if we come together. Janet, does that kind of wrap it up with a bow on it, or did I miss something?
I think so. No, I think so. And I think that we have all these wonderful intentions about creating community. And I think that it's hard to get people on board right now. And I think that's, for me, that's the struggle. I want to know from the presenters, what is it they're looking for? So that's, Erica, one kind of what we're thinking about is, are you doing what you need to do? Are you happy with doing your work on your own? Would it be helpful to have some assistance, a group of people who you could sort of go to and say, well, I need some marketing assistance, or I need a website designer, or I need this or that, and we could help you do that. I think that's what we're looking to be for presenters. But I don't know if that's what the presenters are looking for. Is that what they need? So I guess I would ask you, as someone who's building your own business, you've got your own niche going, and you're doing well with it. Is there anything that you could see, that any places that you could see that you could use assistance with. I guess that's what we're asking.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, thank you for asking. That's a great question. And I'll give you my opinions, but of course I can't obviously speak for the rest of the presenters in the community. But for me, I've already over the years, created a lot of the marketing materials that I use in my presentations for my events. I guess for me, one of the things that I would find useful is it's like finding collaboration partners. For example, if there were other PGN members who they thought, might benefit from having me present to their members, and we both run like a joint event, and if it's a paid event, then we could talk about some kind of revenue sharing or something like that. But I guess other avenues to kind of help me spread the word and spread my influence. And of course, if they were doing things that might be of interest to my members, it works both ways too. So
I've got to jump in and thank you, Erica, for sharing that. And I'm sure a lot of people, they may not be where you are in terms of material, marketing and stuff. A lot of people, they struggle with that. So that's one of the areas that we keep hearing as we've surveyed over the years, that people are, struggling with what do I write? How do I write? How do I get the word out? The other thing I wanted to mention for those people listening, aside from us here today, is this is really for coaches, teachers, presenters, event organizers. It's kind of a people who have purpose, and they're trying to live into that and get their work out into the world. And so I want to be clear that this is not just about doing some events or organizing a few things locally or even online or hybrid. It really is for a broad range of people who have something to bring to the planet, to other humans usually, that because this is what we're dealing with in this, this technology that we're working with.
Yeah. And I just want to add that, I mean, if I wasn't, my husband is a software engineer. So like I have a website and stuff, and he was instrumental in helping me get that set up and, helping me to understand the ins and outs of like recording videos and doing editing. But let me tell you, if he wasn't in my life or he worked in a completely different type of work, yeah, I would definitely need that kind of assistance. So I fully understand and appreciate the challenges that other presenters are probably having if they don't already have those resources available.
Right. And I love that you bring up, I mentioned it in my spiel earlier, but the idea that cross collaboration, sharing, people are going to want to share your word with you to their group and vice versa. And that's the kind of community that we have and are developing and have developed with PGN over the years, because it really was an umbrella of a number of different people who came to the table, like yourself, Erica, who, use that larger platform that we inherited from Dennis Pratt. He put blood, sweat, and tears for 5 years into PGN to make it what it was. And he was just a very high touch person and very affable and very connected to the community. And that's what made it a success, right? And all of that then allowed other people to flourish in their own way under that umbrella. It isn't like a lot of meetup groups are just kind of in a silo. Where they're just talking about knitting or talking about one aspect of life or something, where because personal growth covers a lot and CommUnify covers even more. So Janet or Kevin, I'm sorry, Erica, go ahead.
And I was also going to ask, I remember at one time, PGN also had a Facebook group, and I'm wondering, does that still exist, or is it now CommUnify?
It's a great question. Very timely. Janet, I'm going to flip it over to you.
Yeah, no, we just still do have a Facebook group, but it has not really been used very much.
Yeah.
So a couple of the presenters have kind of decided that they want to post their videos. So that's what's basically been happening. So I think that it does take a lot of effort to keep it going. And yeah, we haven't been able to put the effort in. If there were someone who wanted to take it over, we'd be very excited about that. So,
Yeah.
but you are welcome to go on it. Are you a member of it? You must be a member.
I think I joined years ago.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure if people could like post things about upcoming events. Like I wasn't sure if it could be used for that purpose.
Yes. Yes, you can.
Okay. Because, and the only reason why I say that is sometimes people aren't subscribed to meetup messages, but they are, you know, they're always on Facebook. So
Yes.
Yeah. And you're definitely welcome to go and post on there. We would encourage that, actually.
Okay. Cool.
And
So-
Janet, what about CommUnify? Where are we with that and Facebook and LinkedIn and all of that right now?
We just started a CommUnify Facebook page. We don't have a group page, but we do have a page for CommUnify on Facebook. And we also, we don't have a LinkedIn site yet, but we will create a group for LinkedIn. So we will
So
be doing
keep
We
that in
do
mind,
have a-
Erica, and everybody else listening in the future out there, that CommUnify will be the area that we'll be paying more attention to. And what we envision PGN and Personal Growth Network being under the CommUnify umbrella. So I want to give you that visual that we see CommUnify larger than PGN, but PGN will continue because there's just so many people that are familiar with it and so forth. But the Facebook group, as we just mentioned, has not been that active, but the CommUnify group will be. The page will be anyway. So keep, now Janet, will she be able to post there? Things on the CommUnify
No,
page?
not unless I make a group. I can make a group for CommUnify, and that might be something, you know, that we would do. Is that something you would be interested in doing, Erica? Posting if we had a
Sure.
group that was more active?
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because
And
we're
the-
reinventing and
Right. Of
course.
expanding is what's been going on for quite a while now. We've been trying to get the traction, if you will, and you know, through COVID times as well. And we're working toward it. And again, the technology's been our biggest block. Kevin will be the first one to tell you that we have been struggling along to find with people across the world, literally, an integrated way to actually collaborate and connect. And it's like a neural network is what we're looking for. Is if you know what that looks like, it's a lot of different interconnections all over the place that can actually find information without having organic search and things like that, so that it creates those connections almost automatically based on what people are doing.
That's great.
The other thing I wanted to mention, Erica, is that we do have, it used to be a PGN YouTube channel, but now I've changed it over to CommUnify. And if you want to post there, and if you have any videos, I don't know if you do videos, but if you had anything, I would be happy to post them there as well. So you could send me. Yeah.
And anybody can get to Facebook at CommUnify.Live. Okay, so if you go there at the bottom of the page, obviously we have a connection. There's Facebook and YouTube right now. We'll have LinkedIn there as well.
Yeah, we'll work
Kevin,
on it.
you wanted to jump in before about the tech?
Yeah, I was just going to expand on that a little bit, because one of the things Erica was talking about was the ability for people who have content and things to present and share to connect with each other. And that's one of the main things that we want to facilitate with the platform, and it's been a hard thing to find. We have not found a platform that does that aspect really well, but also does other things, because we were also talking about people who need marketing assistance or might need a software developer. And that'll be a critical piece of what we need a platform to provide as well, is some sort of searchable resource or matching system that helps people who have something to share find the resources they need to do it. So it ends up being it's like a platform that combines all the best elements of what a lot of other platforms do, and we haven't yet found one that does it very well. But as Cliff mentioned, we have a really good lead. It's very early. They have a very strong piece of software that has been vetted and has been used for other purposes in a different industry that they're repurposing for this space. So we're kind of week by week just getting some updates, and they're rolling features out, and we're testing them, and etc. So I don't know how long it's going to take them, but we are closely monitoring that situation, and we're hopeful.
And it's an alpha stage right now,
Yeah.
and we're part of that alpha team. And there's quite a few others that are out there larger than us in some regard, and they're also part of different aspects of feedback loops back to that team that's working on that. The other aspect to the tech also, and thinking about this outside of just presenters and event organizers, the one thing we also want to have is the ability to have calendars so that people can find stuff. You know, the old TV guide routine, whether it's live or hybrid or otherwise. People need to be able to look and say, you know, well, what's going on in my interest group, you know, or my interest levels and things like that, in my area or online or whatever. So that's the other part of it. And then the other big piece of that is, as well, is for ultimately the people who will show up to see your stuff or listen to you or listen to others come together and commune and convene. So that's more of a membership part of it as well. And that's that gets into the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people who will be looking for Erica or Kevin or Janet's work, whatever, in the world, or mine, or anybody who's part of the ecosystem here. So that's an important aspect as well. And of course, we're looking for the whole enchilada when it comes to that part of it. So that you know, paywalls and things like that, so that it was all integrated. So we aren't on Venmo and we aren't on Stripe and all these different pay things, so that, you know, we can do our work in the world and get paid for it as well.
Yeah,
That makes sense,
like
Kevin? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like with PGN, it exists on Meetup, because Meetup, one of the things it does well is it's like a nice calendar where you can see upcoming events in list form or calendar form. You can click on them, you get info about them, time, date, but then you got a link offsite to go pay for it. And then the message board leaves a lot to be desired. So there's not a lot of direct engagement with people. So it's really just a glorified calendar, but it does that one piece really well. And just trying to find a space where you can do that, but then also what you do with Facebook, right? Where you can have that back and forth chat and you can post information. It's just trying to find something that merges everything together. So it's the one-stop shop. You can live in that space, almost literally do everything you need to do in there. So that's the goal.
And really have that community feel. And that's one of the things that I'm looking for as a convener by nature. I love people coming together and having conversations. That's where stuff happens. You know, and it's mind blowing that what I've seen happen on this kind of a Foursquare thing in the past. And it can be life saving. It can be life changing. It can be earth changing. So, and we need more of that. You know, people can actually have those experiences and feel like they're connected in ways that general, you know, Zoom calls or general convening just doesn't have it. So we look to have fun with this and have people enjoy convening and connecting and collaborating, and have it to be an easy platform and an easy community to feel part of and feel safe and connected and all of that as well. Janet? Anything?
Yeah, I have a question for you, Erica. So with your people, when you do a group, do you continue to stay connected with your people that were in the group, or do they just like take it and then they're gone, and then a new set takes it and then they're gone? I'm just wondering how it works for you.
Most of the time I end my presentations, I put up a slide with my email address saying that, if you want to stay connected afterwards, you could either contact me through Meetup or email me at, and I give them my email address. Occasionally people would email me, but usually it's just one event, the next event.
Yeah. Okay. And another question. So you said you were interested in maybe getting collaborators and connecting with people that way. One of the ideas we were thinking about, which sort of is why we're doing this, but we thought about having a monthly meeting where the event program, or event organizers, presenters can come together and just chat and just share what they're doing. And, maybe, just offering up, to do that, to co-present or to help each other out, or, do you think that that's something you would be excited about to come to? Maybe each person could share a little about what they're doing, so we all get a feel for what's going on out there, and we can all help each other, market each other, that kind of thing.
Yeah, something like that sounds appealing. Yeah, it might be. It would be something that I'm interested in. As to whether I could attend, it would depend on the day and time. Like evening meetups tend to work better for me. Like this 8 o'clock slot works pretty well. I can't speak for other organizers, but that sounds like a good idea.
Okay. Yeah, that's one of the things we were thinking. And the other one that I came up with was maybe having a monthly group where we invited someone in who's a business professional and could just do a half an hour talk on there and share some information for people. And then they could be a question and answer period for a half an hour. I mean, it could be a website designer or a copyright professional or a graphic designer or whatever, just to sort of share information. Do you think that's something people would want?
Yeah.
You think so? Yeah.
I think so. Absolutely. Okay. Especially those who need help in those areas. Sure.
Right.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Not everyone's married to Erica's husband. So.
No.
Only Erica is. Sorry, folks. Maybe he's interested.
Yeah.
Nope, not taking on any other clients.
Fair enough.
I'm his primary one.
All right. Primary sole client.
Primary and sole, yes.
Janet, what else do you have that for the community as well as Erica? If obviously she's got some stuff that's already in play. A lot of people don't. We have surveyed in the past. We'll probably launch another survey here in the next month or so to our constituency to see what they think in these areas. So is there something else that you want to throw out here for people listening in the future, or in terms of the questions general questions we have on our survey? I know you're asking Erica what she would think.
Yeah, I mean, those are the questions that I have for people. And I did create a survey. It's on the website. So it's on CommUnify.Live. You can go there and look for the survey and take it if you want to. It's just, we're gathering as much information as to what people want and how we can help people. That's really what we're here for. We want to support you as much as possible.
Okay.
Janet,
go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to ask make sure that people know what page it's on, if it's on the page yet.
I was going to say, I'm on the CommUnify website. I don't see. the
Okay, go to offerings
Offerings, okay.
offerings. Okay.
and then go down to online platform to connect with others, and you'll see a blue link that says survey.
There it is.
Ah, I didn't know that that was live. Look at that.
Does it go to good places already? Or
It should.
It goes to a Google
Oh,
form.
yeah. Yeah.
there it
I
is.
see.
Okay.
Got it.
So that's really helpful. It's just a survey to help us to find out what are you looking for? What are you doing? What are you looking for? How can we help you? That's really what we're all about. So we're in research mode at the moment.
Yeah. Okay.
I call it re-research.
Research. Okay.
It's an iterative process.
Reprocessing. Well, things have changed in the last few years, and the last time we went out this formally was 3 years ago. So, things, right? So
And
that's great.
that is another question I had, Erica. Do you find yourself, are you doing live in real person? No. Do you see yourself going back to that? Or do you think you're like in the online world?
I'm loving the online because I've connected with people not just here in the greater Boston area, in the UK and Canada.
Yeah.
It's just, with Zoom events, just it makes so much possible
Yeah.
because people don't have to travel anywhere to attend.
Yeah, I've found that myself. And I've been having such a blast over the last 2 years, meeting people from all over the world and really developing a lot of friendships.
Yeah.
And connections that you wouldn't do if you have to go to your office and just draw from your circle,
Absolutely.
Even with Meetup is so localized, right? But when you have this kind of online platform, the potential is endless. I mean, it's cool. It's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially because with in-person events, you can never satisfy all, you can never really satisfy everyone because, you host an event on the South Shore and then the North Shore people can't come or vice versa. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll see more hybrid events going on in the future when we get over the pandemic thing that's going on around the world. It's been underneath a rock. They missed out quite a bit. So I'd like to move toward wrapping up the time here to be respectful of people listening as well. Erica, do you have anything at all that we have not covered or something that you want to throw in the ring?
Nope. No, I thank you for organizing this and for giving me the time to talk more about the kind of work I do and how CommUnify could meet my needs. So I thank you and I appreciate you.
And Erica was spotlighted in our monthly newsletter that Jana puts together wonderfully, and so that worked out well too. And then if you want to know what Erica's doing, Erica, why don't you just verbalize your email here so people can figure out? Why don't you tell us what you do in short, and then share your information so that people can get a hold of you if they're interested.
Absolutely, yeah. So I try to do this on a monthly basis where I host events. They're intended for single women of all ages. And what I do is I host events that pertain to a specific topic pertaining to dating and relationships. And my goal is to empower women with the confidence, knowledge, and skills they need to attract the right person so they could build a happy, lifelong relationship with him. So if there are any single ladies listening,
I'm sure there will be.
To have you attend one of my events. And did you want me to share my email?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll put it in the chat as well if people can see that. If you can type that in right before we leave, that'd be great. But share it verbally now in case someone doesn't see the chat.
Sure. So my email address is datewithpower. That's DATEWITHPOWER. datewithpower, all one word, @gmail.com.
That's pretty easy. I don't think anybody's going to
Yes.
screw that one up. datewithpower@gmail.com. Erica Chafkin, right?
Yes.
That's how we say it. Thank you for doing that work. I'm sure a lot of women would appreciate that help out there. And I'm sure some single women will be listening to this and dialing you up. So that's great. And then, so you try to do that every month, and it's something about connecting up with their partner in life, potentially. And that's much needed. I know that.
Absolutely. I also have a website, www.datewithpower.com. If you want to check it out, got plenty
So
of
I
resources there.
saw that coming. That Date with Power thing is kind of a thing.
That's
All
awesome.
right. Well, that's awesome. Erica, thanks for being here. Janet, of
course.
course, Kevin, as well, to support what we're all doing here in the world. And again, for those of you checking us out, CommUnify.Live, we've got a survey on there if you want to take it, or just check it out and get a hold of Janet. If you want to have a conversation with us, we're open to doing that about, if you didn't make it tonight, obviously. We'd love to talk with you about what your needs and wants and desires are in the CommUnify space, and how you might fit into that and be part of the community. With that, Janet, I think that's right. That makes sense, right? And Janet does interviews with people like Erica and others that also go up on our YouTube channel, and that's a great way for people to meet people doing great stuff and supportive stuff in the world. Jan, does that wrap it for you?
That wraps it up. Thank you. Thank you all. It's been
Excellent.
great.
You.
Thanks.
Thanks so
Have a good
much.
night, everyone.
All right.
Bye-bye
Take
now.
care, Erica.
Take care.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye. Nice
Bye-bye.
seeing you all.
You too.